Most musicians market wrong, and the music industry taught them to do it that way. Let that land for a second. You've probably heard it 100 times. Post more content, get on social media, just put yourself out there. So you do. You drop a release, you post some clips, you might even throw a little bit of money on a meta ad, and then nothing. Crickets. So now you're frustrated because you're thinking, I'm doing everything they said to do. Why isn't this working? Here's the real answer, and nobody in the music industry wants to say it out loud. You're not marketing wrong because you're lazy or untalented. You're marketing wrong because you're using a strategy designed for artists who already have an audience. Hit the like button if you agree with this. Before we get into it, if you want the full framework that we're talking about, plus the tools to actually install it into your band or your project, that's exactly what we're building over at Amateur to Pro Music Community on Skool. It's free to join, and the link is in the description below. So here's the problem most musicians are trying to solve. They think that their growth problem is a marketing problem. It's not. It's a sequencing problem. Marketing when no one knows you yet is completely different from marketing to an already existing fan base. The music industry, they teach YouTube channels, blog posts, courses. They mostly teach you one thing: how to promote. Promote your release, run ads for your song, pitch to playlists. That advice isn't wrong, it's just out of order. It's like a restaurant opening its doors on day one, spending all their budget on ads and wondering why the tables are empty. They skip the part where you have to build demand. You build awareness. You give people a reason to walk through the door before you ever ask them to sit down. That's exactly what most musicians skip as well. So when I worked at Amazon, one of the core principles hammered into everything we did was work backwards from the customer. You don't start with the product. You don't start with promotion. You start with the person on the other end. And you ask, what do they actually need before they're ready to buy? Amazon didn't become the biggest retailer in the world shouting, buy our stuff, into the empty void. They built trust first. They built familiarity. They built systems that made people feel taken care of. And then when they were ready to buy, the buying was easy. Most musicians do the opposite. They build the product, they skip the trust building part entirely and just go straight for the ask. Your fan can't connect with a song with someone they've never heard of. Not because your music is bad, but because there's no relationship there yet. You haven't earned their attention. So what I want to give you is a framework, and I'm going to borrow the same structure that we use in the Amateur to Pro Music Artist Operating System, which is built around the same logic Amazon uses to launch and grow products. You work backwards from the outcome. The outcome is a loyal, engaged audience member who actually buys, shows up, and tells other people about you. To get there, you need to move through 3 phases in order. First phase is awareness. When no one knows you, your job is not to promote your music. Your job is to get people to stop scrolling, pay attention to who you are as a person. This is the part almost everybody skips. People connect with artists long before they connect with their music. If you've ever listened to a band's back catalog after seeing them live, you know this is true. The live experience created the connection, and the recordings were the reward. So what actually works in this phase? Stories that make people care, not here's my new single. The story behind the single. The moment that broke you open and made you write it. The tension, the struggle, the real thing, relatable content, the grind, the rehearsal that fell apart, the honest take on what's actually like trying to build something real in an industry that wasn't built for you. Presence in your community, not just posting into it. The musicians who grow in this phase are the ones in the comments, in the rooms, building actual relationships instead of broadcasting. You cannot skip phase 1 and succeed in phase 3. Phase 2 is connection. Attention is just the entry point. Now you need to give the people a reason to stay. This is where consistency becomes your most important tool. Not posting every day for the algorithm, but instead showing up often enough that people start to expect it and expect you. You become part of their routine. This is also where your identity as an act matters more than your music. What do you stand for? What's the thing that people identify with and they identify with you? What's the movement? Think about the bands that have genuinely loyal followings. Their fans aren't just streaming their music, they're adopting something, a worldview, an aesthetic, a sense of belonging to something that feels real. If you skip phase 2, you become a one release wonder. You got their attention, but you did not earn their loyalty, and they forgot you the moment the next thing popped up on their screen. The Amateur to Pro Music Artist Operating System has specific tools for building this, defining your mission, your positioning, what we call your artist identity. But the principle is simple. Give people something to belong to, not something to listen to. Phase 3 is promotion. Now you can promote. Now the ad makes sense. Now the playlist pitch has context. Now when you drop a release, there's a reason for your audience to participate, share it, and bring other people in. This is where everything you've been building pays off. Create anticipation before the drop. Tease the story. Show the process. Give your audience something to be a part of. Then release in a way that invites participation, not just consumption. Then stay present after the release. Most musicians disappear after the release. They're off going to start the next release or the next thing. The ones who grow keep the momentum going. So here's the key insight. If you've done phase 1 and phase 2 with any seriousness, phase 3 stops being hard. You're not shouting into a void. You're activating the audience that's already warm. Artists who figure this out stop thinking like musicians and start thinking like business owners. A business does not launch a product without first building demand. It doesn't run ads to a cold audience without a reason for that audience to care. It builds a system, works through it in order, and measures what's working. That's the shift we teach inside the Amateur to Pro Music community. Not more tactics, a better sequence, a real operating system for your music career. If this resonated with you, here's your next step. Drop a comment below and tell me which phase you're actually in right now. Phase 1, phase 2, or phase 3. I read every comment and I'll tell you exactly what to focus on. And if you want the full APM Artist Operating System, the complete framework that we use for building your music career like a business, it's inside the Amateur to Pro Music School community. And a link for that is in the description below. That's where we go deep into all of this. Subscribe if you're serious about this. This channel is for musicians who are done waiting to be discovered and are ready to start building something real.